Okay, so I'm picking up on page 547 with 13A, and it wants us to go to the lower portion of the table, and it says, point to the upper left corner of the cell containing honors and activities to display the one-click row column insertion. So if you go here, see how my cursor changed a little bit that way. So we're going to click this little plus sign to insert a new row into the honors. And then we're going to type in education. In that section. And tab. And then it says to type the following, press enter at each except the last one. So go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, so you should have typed in all of education. That tells you to save. Click on save. And then we're down until the title of the table. We're on midway page 548 here. So it says the title typically spans all the columns. In this table, we're going to merge some things. So we're going to go back to home. Control H is home. Control home is home to go to the top of the document. We're going to go to Table Tools, which is already in there. We're going to go into the Layout tab. And in the Rows and Columns group, we're going to insert above, and that's going to insert a row there. Okay. And we're going to highlight then this row. It says be sure to highlight, so we're going to drag that, and then we're going to go into the Layout tab still, and we're going to merge the cells together. Okay, so that it's in one. So now it's one row instead of the two. So we're going to go in here. So now I'm on step number 1 down at setting tabs in a table. So we're going to go into display the paragraph tab. So if we go home, go to paragraph, and use the drop down arrow. In the indents and spacing tab, so we have indents and spacing here. Lower left corner, we're going to go to tabs. We're going to go to tabs here. So under tab stop position, we're going to go 6.5. And then under alignment, we're going to go right. So it's right aligned. And then we're going to click set. And then OK. So then we're going to type in Josh Hayes here. And then it says to hold down the control and then hit tab. And that'll go there. In a word table, you have to use Control Tab to move a tab stop, because pressing tab is kind of reserved for moving the insertion point from cell to cell. So Control Tab, because if we would have just tabbed there, if we go back here and we hit tab, it would take us down to the next thing. So Control Tab will take you, so if you hit Control Tab, it should take us to the end of that tab. Did we undo that? Let's go undo. Okay, so yeah, we're here. Sorry. Okay, so then once you have the tab, you can click up here too with your right tab, then type the phone number, and then we're just going to press enter. We're going to type the address over here. And then we're going to tab over to the right again. And then we're going to type the email. And then click save. So we're going to bold his name. So highlight that and then click bold. And then let's change the font type to 16. So I'm on 549 right now. And then okay, so under the layout tab, I'm on step number 3 here. It says to we're going to go to the paragraph group here, and then spacing after paragraph, we're going to go to 18 after that paragraph, so it gives us more space up there. And then it adds kind of more space between this and the rest of the document. So now we're going to add spacing on every one of these. So we're going to do here, paragraph drop down, we're going to add spacing after those. So after the last part of all of these, we're going to add some space after the last row here. I have an enter there, so I'm going to get rid of that, but then I'm going to go enter so that we have space on between each of these after the end of the paragraph. And then it adds the space down there. So we're gonna bold the other so we're gonna do objective bold, and you can highlight each of these and go bold, or you can double click this format painter now that you have as an easier way. If you double click that and you get the format painter, then you can just drag over all of these rather than the other method. And then just uncheck it once you're done. You don't have a colon here under education. So that we all have all of them bold. Okay, so now we're going to, in the cell, right, we're going to enter an instructional lab assistant under experience, where it says instructional lab assistant. Without selecting the comma there, you're going to bold that. And we're also going to be assistant executive director. I'm just going to use format painter on these. And then I'm going to double click these. And we're doing assistant executive director and teacher's assistant. And we're going to bold those. So we're also going to bold university. What else are we bolding? Education, under education, University of South Florida. And actually we're going to bold this whole thing. And we are also bolding Florida for community. So we're bolding these. We're going to bold those. Okay, so it says to, in the same line as bachelor, on layout, we're going to add 12 points. The 12 point to go after the paragraph here, so we've got space there in between. And then experience, under instructional lab assistant, and then we're going to add 12 point there after each of those items too. So we've got some space in there. We'd add a 12 point here also. I'm going to save that. Okay, now I'm on page 551. So now we're going to go to the top margin area where we have this move handle. Okay. So we're just going to click on that, and it selects the entire table. Under Table Tools, we're going to go to Design. In the Borders group, so we're going to go into the Borders group. We're going to click the Borders button arrow. So I have this all selected. I went to Table Tools Design tab. Then under the Borders group, we're going to do the drop down area here under Borders, and then select No Border. And then and that's not going to display now, so it'll only show you kind of where your borders are here, but it won't print those. So if I click on Home here, File, and go to Print, I'm not actually going to print right now, I'm just going to print Preview. Notice that I don't have any borders, it just shows it under here when we're looking at that. So we're going to select the table again, and we're going to click Borders and Shading. Okay, so we're going to click Borders and Shading. Here we go. Down here is where it wants you to go, which takes you to the same spot, very honestly. We're going to go under I'm going to choose Custom here. We're going to do a thick underline. We're going to browse the styles here. We're going to do a thick upper line and a thin lower line. So a thick upper line and a thin lower line. Let me see which one they want here. I think this kind of looks like it. Okay, and then just click OK. Selected this here, we're going to go drop down box here, and then